Hey, friend. Welcome to another Hope in the Hard segment of Parenting Through the Hard. These segments are short week reflections meant to be kind of like a breath between some of our bigger conversations, I guess. A chance to pause, to take a deep breath, and to remind each other that we're not walking alone on this road. As I think about these reflections, I try to keep them simple, just quiet reminders that hope can still find its way into the middle of our ordinary days. Because the truth is, healing doesn't usually show up for us in some spectacular, show stopping way. Most times, healing looks like a slow morning where we give ourselves time to sit and be, or maybe a gentle word from someone that we love and trust, or even just a glimpse of beauty that we almost missed entirely. Today, I want to talk about how I've been trying to be more intentional about finding beauty in the ordinary. I'm talking about the quiet kind that shows up right in the middle of washing dishes or in car rides between drop off and pickup. And sometimes even the long afternoons that don't always go the way that we hope. The other morning, I was standing at the kitchen sink, staring at the window, waiting for my coffee to finish brewing. And it was one of those gray mornings that reminds me of being back in Washington, the kind where the clouds just feel heavy and even the birds seem quiet. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about anything profound, honestly. I was just tired and I was kind of fighting the urge to go back to bed. You know what I mean? Kind of tired that it just settles kind of deep and it doesn't quite lift, even after you've had a good night's sleep. Like you, there's been a lot on my heart lately. Some hard things with one of my kids that I can't fix. Moments that seem to wake me up at night and leave me praying that God would somehow figure out a way to give me peace in the waiting. But then as I stood there looking out the window, I noticed something really simple. It was just this single leaf that was on a tree in my backyard, which, despite the wind tugging at it, still was managing to hold on tight to the branch. It was such a small thing, but something in it caught my attention. It was like this tiny flicker of strength in an ordinary moment that reminded me that healing doesn't always come in the big breakthroughs or answered prayers. Sometimes healing comes in noticing the way a leaf is holding on, just like we are, or the sound of laughter from another room reminding us that there's still joy to be found, or even the warmth of a mug of coffee in your hand that can bring comfort when everything around you feels so uncertain. And maybe that's the invitation for us, right here in the middle of our hard, to pay attention to the quiet beauty that keeps showing up, even when life doesn't look like we imagined it would. I think so often, especially as parents walking through hard seasons, we get used to looking for progress. We measure healing in ourselves or in our loved ones by milestones, right? The phone call that goes better than expected, the appointment that finally offers answers, or the week that we have without a setback. But what if healing for us isn't only measured in the big moments? What if healing for us is also found in the small ones, like noticing how we didn't spiral as quickly today when something went wrong, or realizing that laughter still finds its way into our homes, even after hard conversations? The older I get, the more I'm convinced that God is most present in the ordinary, not just in the mountaintop moments, but in the quiet, hidden places where we show up again and again, washing another dish, or making another drive, or offering another prayer when we don't see change yet. There's a passage in First Kings where Elijah looks for God in the wind, the earthquake, and the fire, but he isn't in any of those. Instead, he comes in a gentle whisper. And maybe that's how beauty and healing work too. Not in the loud or dramatic, but in the stillness, the quiet noticing, the steady love that keeps showing up. I think that when we start to see beauty in ordinary days, it changes something in us. It doesn't mean that the pain disappears. It just means that we begin to notice that grace is still here, that life, even in its messiness, can hold both ache and awe at the same time. So maybe this week we could practice noticing before rushing past today and into tomorrow. Maybe we could pause and ask, where did I see beauty today, no matter how small it was? Was it in the way that the morning light fell across the counter, or the sound of your child's voice on the other end of the phone? Maybe a small act of kindness you didn't expect. Maybe if we could write it down or whisper a thank you and let that small bit of beauty remind us that we're still healing, still growing, still being held, even here. Friend, I don't think that healing is always a grand event. Sometimes it's a quiet unfolding, a gentle return to noticing what's still good, what's still true, what's still beautiful. We don't have to rush it or force it. We're allowed to rest in the small things, to find hope in the sound of rain or the feel of our favorite sweatshirt or the laughter that catches us by surprise. This journey of parenting through the hard, it isn't about control. It's about companionship and trusting that even when the road feels long and uncertain, we're not walking it alone. Thank you for sharing a few minutes of your day with me today. Until next time, keep breathing, keep noticing, and keep finding beauty, even in the ordinary.